Hello, 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 and welcome to Updog Sports Talk. My name is Matt Miller. Joining me today is our normal crew of ruffians, Justin McGovern and intern Tones. But today is actually extra special for us because not only do we have a special guest, he's our good friend Derek Markle.
Yeah.
Welcome, dude. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to
Mustache
finally hop on.
looking pretty dope.
Thank you. Grew it myself.
Now, Justin, I'm gonna throw it over to you. What does Derek do? And then Derek will throw it over to you.
Yes. Derek is the senior art director at
Senior
Colorado,
awesome
and
director.
or if you want to throw that in front of it, senior fart director,
Yep.
however you want to do
That was
it.
tossed around.
But yeah, so like we're gonna get to dive into that a little bit today and really just talk about like the awesome behind the scenes of signing day. But kind of to start us off, Derek, let's go ahead and get to know you a little bit. So how long have you been in college football, and what programs have you worked for?
Oh, awesome. Thanks again for having me on. I'm glad that we finally got to do this. It's been a long time in the works. Collectively, if you count my internships, 11 years total in college football. 2 years as an intern at Toledo, 3 years full time after that. That was working with the athletics department, doing all varsity sports, with the heavy focus on football, basketball, and women's basketball. Then from there, got hired at Colorado in 2019 when Mel Tucker got there. Went with him to Michigan State. Was creative director there for 1 year. And then from there went to USC, was director of creative media there, and then came back to Colorado in 2022. So I've been back there for 4 seasons now. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just been a wild journey. It's crazy that
So
taking me all these different places. And
how much on the internet from the Colorado program is stuff that you made?
a good majority of it, anything that's not a video from the football account, there's a good chance that I made it. We have we have a couple photo interns that help with a few things here and there. Not here and there, they do a lot, but there's a good chance that anything that's not a moving image is out of my office.
Very awesome. So why did you want to work in college football?
So I mean, like all of us, love sports, love football specifically. When I was graduating college, I was kind of in between if I wanted to go into music industry or if I wanted to, dive into sports. And then internships kind of led me the sports route. And the girl that I was interning for at Toledo, she got a job with the Pistons, and she texted me like right after I graduated and was like, "Hey, do you want to come work at Toledo?" I said, "Yep." And that was kind of right when the social media thing was starting to get real big. The creative aspect of recruiting wasn't really a thing at that time, but you know, because that was in 2016. A couple of years after that, the official visit photo shoots became a thing, and then all of these crazy mailers and things that have kind of led us to the offer letters and signing day content that we're going to get into. Um, it's just I got in right at the right time. It just evolved into this crazy thing uh, while I was in it. So right place at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're definitely going to dive into like how things have changed as you've gone along.
Mm.
And you worked also like with a lot of coaches. Like, so what coaches have you worked with during your career?
Yeah. So when I was an intern at Toledo, I was with Matt Campbell. Didn't have a ton of interaction with him just because I was in the marketing department for athletics, not in the football building. But he's a great dude. I'm very happy for him in his new role, even though I'm just kind of bummed to see him leave the Big 12. Worked with Jason Candle at Toledo, and then Mel Tucker at Colorado, Michigan State. Played Helton for a little while at USC, and then I was there when Lincoln Riley got hired. Got to spend a few months with him and Caleb Williams and all those guys. And honestly, like that was the hardest situation to walk away from because I knew that Caleb's a special player. He's going to go on and be the guy that he is. And then just working with Lincoln, like he was the most down to earth, like just normal human coach that I've been around. So it was really hard to have that conversation with him and say, "Hey, I'm actually going to go back to Colorado." And then worked with Carl Durrell for that 22 season, Mike Sanford as an interim, and then Coach Prime. And it's kind of crazy to think about now, but Coach Prime is the coach that I've worked for the longest out of my my stretch in football. It's wild.
So how is it with Prime? Is he like the same on camera as he is off camera?
He's um
Maybe a little bit more tamed,
yeah, like
so to speak.
he's he's a little quieter just when you're just in conversation with him, but I mean he's still the same person. He's never not Prime. So it's
Yeah,
it's
I
just
mean,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
I
we
feel
were
like the
big
bigger
fans
thought.
at Hire.
Yeah. You say
So
you were or weren't.
we were.
Yeah.
First of all, Colorado didn't have a deep history, and then getting a personality like Dion, you could just feel the energy, even from all the way out here in Ohio. You could feel the energy resonating off that program once he got hired,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
you can
Like
still feel it despite like maybe not living up to some of the potential they have had in the years past.
yeah, it's hard to follow up a season like we had last year. I mean, obviously with like Travis winning every award under the sun, he was literally the most decorated player ever in one season of college football from an award standpoint. So it's hard to follow that up, and then obviously the impact that Shador had and all that. But um, yeah, like it's still kind of surreal that we're in this situation with Coach Prime here. Like Snelson and I had to do an interview with him today, and the way that the interview was set up, I had to ask him the questions, so he was looking off camera at me. And like, I'm halfway through this interview with him. I'm like, is this real? And I'm sitting here like asking Deion Sanders these questions. It's like just everyday work.
so you've been on the interview with Deion Sanders and then the Updog Sports Talk today. What a day!
I, I'm not gonna say it publicly, but one of those is the one I was more excited about. It's this one.
So let's go ahead and we can go ahead and jump into signing day here. So for those who are not familiar with what your role is behind the scenes, what is your role on signing day?
Yeah, so my role overall is all of the graphics and photo essentially for Colorado football. That's all social media, a lot of the marketing stuff. Recruiting is obviously a huge component of that. And specifically for the signing day stuff, it all kind of starts in, what is it, June, when we send out the offer letters. Um, we send out an official offer letter. That's when our list is almost finalized of all of our guys that we want as like our, top guys. They get an official offer letter that's like, shiny, flashy, we want you kind of thing. And from there, I don't know if every school does this, but this is how I've done it the last few years. I take my concept from the offer letter and then I evolve that to signing day. So I keep a similar concept and theme, and then it all kind of like plays together. The recruits are familiar with it. We've been pretty fortunate to have it all go pretty viral the last couple of years, so fans are familiar with it. And then it's kind of like the closing credits of like this idea that we have in the spring, and then when you sign these kids, it's like, yep, that's the finale. You get the final package of it. So that's all of our social media content. It's like the rollout as the kids sign their national letters of intent, send those in, and then yeah, it's kind of like the creative Super Bowl, and it's fun on our side of things because we sit there and we watch all the other schools and what they're doing. It's like, oh man, that's a huge miss from them, and some schools kind of come out of the woodworks and come up with something awesome. I feel like we've done a pretty good job the last couple of years, and it's a huge lift, but it's fun.
Are you
So
afraid that the well will run dry and you'll run out of creative juices? And if so, what do you do to get those juices flowing?
Um, a lot of times these ideas don't really come to me until like, the night before the deadline. And everyone always asks because like, the first year we did the Louis luggage, like offer letters, and those are on Sports Center and ESPN and Fox Sports, and all these like media outlets are picking it up. And then next year, everyone's like, "So what are you gonna do now?" And I didn't know, but that was right when like I didn't know at the time what I was gonna do. And then I did the Coach Prime because that's right when Coach Prime came out with his shoes. So we made like a shoebox and had like a cutout of the Coach Prime shoes in there. And then this year, like I didn't know until the night before, and it was like trading cards. That'd be a cool one. It's an easy way to show off all the NFL history we have. But to answer your question in a long way, I worry about it sometimes, but then we we've had an answer each time. So
That's something we
Yeah, I
like, you
mean
know.
that trading card one was just absolute genius. And obviously that went viral everywhere. I mean, if you even have a copy with you, you can even show it off if you
I
want.
I do.
Um, all right, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. So the concept behind it was, when I approach these projects, I think of how do you market Coach Prime? How do you market the university and the coaching staff? And then how do you appeal to the, you know, 17-year-old kid that is receiving this? So my idea this year, trading cards. So let me make sure that I can see you guys.
Yeah, and I went ahead and I changed the layout a little bit just so it shows you right now as the presenter.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we've got, is it on me or is it on you? I see you.
We see you.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, so the cover is like a trading card book. Open it up. If you want to play at the next level, come learn from the ones who have been there. And then each kid got a graded one of one card of themselves with a little like bio and all that stuff on the back. And then so we did cards of each one of our coaches. Obviously we had 3 Hall of Famers on staff: Coach Prime, Warren Sapp, Marshall Falk. And then, Pat Shermer, former NFL head coach, Rob Livingston, Jason Phillips played in the NFL. I mean, we've got just a boatload of NFL experience with these guys. So each guy got their own like personalized card. That's a cool way for the kid to actually like know about the history, because some of these kids are, they weren't around when Prime was playing, so they get to see, NFL Prime, MLB Prime, all of that. This is the generic offer letter, but each kid got a personalized offer letter with their photo. And we work with a company called Ghost Mail that does an incredible job with all of this gold foil and all that stuff. Then another little insert showing off our NFL guys: Trav, Shador, Jimmy, all them. And then just another little insert showing all of our coaches and who they are in the current day, as opposed to the trading cards that they get. So it's a cool way to put like a big spotlight on our staff, because a lot of times like you get an offer letter and it's just like something about the kid, but this is a cool way to show that this program is way bigger than Colorado football. It's 3 gold jackets and what is it, 160 years of NFL experience, 3 Hall of Famers, 27 Pro Bowls. Just crazy amount of NFL history we have.
Absolutely. I mean, that is an incredible, it is so cool. And just an incredible way to really show like the advantage that Colorado has in recruiting, which is all of these guys who have been there, they've been in the players' shoes and done that.
Yeah. I mean, from my end of things, like I'm pretty fortunate to be able to sell this, because it's way easier to sell Coach Prime than it is to sell, really any other coach in the country. So yeah, that's
So those natural letters of intent that you get, do they come through fax machine?
So not anymore. Now they get a DocuSign, and the DocuSign goes to the compliance department, and then compliance sends us an email and says that their financial aid and NLI are approved. But back when I first got into football, it was still a fax machine. And like there was one time we were at a bowl game during signing day, and because the early signing day is in December during bowl season, so our compliance guy had to stay home in Toledo to be by the fax machine to receive everything as it was coming in, and be the one to approve it all. So crazy that that's how they were doing it even until a couple years ago.
I was wondering if we ever like transitioned away from that, because like I remember everyone used to joke like it was like, oh, here we go, it's signing day, everyone gather around the fax machine, and that joke kind of disappeared recently. So I was kind of curious like if they did that anymore. So good to hear that we've gone with the modern age a little bit.
Yeah. Now, so like we have so on signing day morning too, I don't know if this is jumping ahead a little too far, but on signing day morning, we do a war room. So we'll have all of our creative people. So it's me, Snelson and Zion, our 2 video people, Daniel, he's our social media guy, and a couple of interns. And then our communications staff, they are getting everything uploaded to the website, doing bios, all of that side of it. And then compliance and recruiting are also in there. So compliance receives the NLI from the kids, and then the recruiting staff is in there on FaceTime with all the kids, congratulating them and all that. And this all starts at 5 a.m. Mountain Time, because kids can sign at 7 a.m. local, and having a staff that's mostly from the South, we recruit a lot of Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, the East Coast. So we got to be there locked and loaded and ready to go and caffeinated at 5 a.m. every signing day.
I can only imagine what that war room is like. Hopefully they got a lot of energy drinks in there for you guys.
Yeah, just a lot of coffee for me. Luckily this year, I've had a couple of years where, especially Coach Prime's first year, he got hired like a month before signing day, and it took the world by storm, and everybody was hopping in the portal and all that and coming to play at CU. And we signed, I want to say it was like 44 kids or something like that on signing day that year. And we didn't know who half of them were until the night before signing day, because there are guys that have relationships with Coach Prime prior to CU, guys that hadn't been on visits and whatnot. So, I'm getting names texted to me all throughout the night, like, hey, Jimmy Horn's going to sign, and hey, let's have something ready for Travis Hunter and all this stuff. It's like I've stayed at the office all night. I was there for 27 hours straight making all of these signing day graphics. And yeah, that was one of the longer days of my entire life. So it was kind of a relief that we only signed, 12 kids in this early signing period. So yeah, I was out of the office by 10:30 the night before signing day, which is, I think, a record for me, at least in the last 3 years.
So for you guys, like this is a very, very long day, no matter what.
Yeah, signing day itself is a breeze because all the work is done on the front end. Occasionally we'll have like a name float in, like, hey, this kid didn't sign at the school that he was committed to. Let's be prepped for this kid. And a lot of times that involves a jersey swap. So like I'll sit there and I'll get started on the jersey swap and then pray that the kid actually comes there after I put in all the work. But
yeah, so how many times have you had that happen where like you had everything ready to go, all the work was done, and you had the rug pulled out from under you?
We've got a graveyard of graphics that have never seen the light of day. I like to have everything prepared for like a just in case scenario. So it happens a little more frequently than what people would imagine. Like this year, I think I'd say probably 6 or 7 guys that I had graphics and everything prepped for. God, yeah.
No.
Didn't even think about it. I'm like, oh my God.
We stayed away from it as a show too.
8,
Yeah.
9. That's
Did you guys see
hit
Nick
those
Saban
kids.
do that last night at the Hall of Fame induction?
Yeah, I didn't
No.
see it.
He did it too?
Saban
He did it
yeah,
too?
last
I
night.
can't.
Yeah.
Oh man, not Saban.
You got to him.
Yeah. But yeah, we do keep stuff prepped for the guys that are in the maybe category, just because like you don't want to have a scenario on your hands where a guy signs and you don't have anything prepped, and then coaches and the recruit signee families, all that stuff are like, hey, how come you guys haven't announced yet? We go, because we didn't think you were actually going to sign. So we keep stuff prepped just for the what ifs.
Yeah. So do you have any like crazy signing day stories?
From this year, it was really tame on our end because we're a pretty portal heavy team. So the signing day last minute flips are not as common in our scenario. But last year or 2 years ago, when Jordan Seaton was signing, we had a pretty good feeling that we were going to get him, but it was like, it was going to be one of those down to the wire kind of things. And, everybody that we would ask, and, like people who keep pretty closed lips on these things, like it's, the kid's decision. They don't want to speak on his behalf and whatnot. And we were just trying to get answers. Like, should we be ready for it? Like, what do we need kind of thing? And we couldn't really get answers because nobody really knew. So Snelson, being the brave soul that he is, just had an open line of communication with Seaton. And he's like, so are you going to sign? It's like, I'm sure other people in the building had communication with him. We just didn't know about it. So Snelson's like, I'm just gonna find out on our own. So he was, calling Seaton, and then Seaton's like, yeah, he's like, can you make me this graphic? I want to have it say this and this. I'm like, this is crazy that we're, you know, in the weeds this far as like the creative guys. Like the recruiting staff and coaching staff, you expect it, but like you don't expect the videographer and the designer to be, you know, in conversations the night before signing day.
Part of the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like the feds are coming for you now after that story.
Yeah. I know. I don't know what else going on out there.
Yeah. Honestly, like it's crazy that you guys are just basically like, you're basically recruiting like the coaches in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, we're involved in the recruiting stuff too. Like we do the photo shoots with them and the creative side of it. And, with the NIL being what it is now too, like we position these guys to have all the assets they need to market themselves and whatnot. So we're involved in a lot of it from pretty early on in the recruiting phases. So I'm not entirely shocked that we're, still in it at the tail end when it's coming down to the signing days decisions and whatnot. But it's just crazy to think about that we're the ones in that like scenario. And like on game days, we'll go out, and get photos of the fans and stuff. And they're like, oh, hey, Derek, hey, Snelson. It's like, how the hell do you guys know who we are? We're the ones like behind the camera that are taking all the pictures and stuff. But these fans are so in tune with everything that's going on now that like we're like recognized out in the community, which is still wild to me.
Hey, you're a celebrity on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be like you guys. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all well deserved too. I mean, you guys have absolutely crushed it as a department, and it's been a lot of fun to follow along. And I think we take great pride in following along. It's always such a awesome journey to kind of follow.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I just told you guys this a couple weeks ago, but that weekend that you guys come out to visit every year is always my favorite time of the year. So, Matt, we got to get you out here sooner rather than later.
If I didn't on a whim decide to go to grad school, probably would have made it to a few more games this year.
Yeah, it's always next year.
Yeah, like Browns fans, it's always next year.
Yeah,
gotta take my shots while we got it. NIL, big thing in college football now.
Mm-hmm.
How has NIL changed like recruiting, and like is there anything that you miss from the old days?
I do kind of miss the days when the money wasn't the big factor in it, because now it's just a who can buy the best player kind of thing. And it kind of like back before that, it was all relationship based, coaching based. I had better relationships with the recruits back then than I do now, just because like, not that my stuff doesn't matter because it's still important in the whole thing, but like back then it was everybody's recruiting trying to get these kids. So like, it was a lot more personal back then than the money game that it is now. Not to say that these kids don't deserve the money. Like there's a lot of money floating around in college football and it should be passed on to them, but I wish that it wasn't all about that now. And
so,
yeah,
sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
And it's not that it's all about the money. Like the guys still obviously would need to have relationships with the coaches and the staff and whatnot, but back when that wasn't a factor whatsoever, besides the guys that were like paying them illegally, it was a lot different.
So would you do you have any ideas to fix NIL? I mean, salary cap has been thrown out there. I don't know if you've heard of Mike Leach's plan, like that he came up with years ago when NIL was coming out.
I don't, but I would love to hear it because I love Mike Leach.
I'm a little hazy on the full details of it,
Mm-hmm.
but what I got from like reading through it was it's like a two-tier system. So you have your players who are there academically that are going to move on and be CEOs of the world, doctors, whatever.
Your GPA boosters.
Yeah. May or may not go to the NFL. They're there for really academics at the end of the day. And then you have a separate tier of like your professionals, like your guys who are striving to go to the NFL. That's their main goal and the reason why they're there. Mike Leach was saying to put a salary cap on that, like put a ceiling on it, so like you can't just Justin, I'm sorry, but you can't be Ohio State and just buy a championship every year.
Yeah.
And then there was another part of that professional one that made it really interesting. I got to look it back up, but basically it was like a separate the players into, hey, are you going to the NFL or do you have more aspirations as a professional elsewhere? And then kind of classify them as such, but allow them to still play.
Gotcha. Yeah. Um, that almost feels like the walk-on versus scholarship scenario. Like the walk-ons are always the good GPA guys that are going to help boost your GPA, and then your scholarship guys are your aspirations of going pro. But yeah, the whole it's weird because there's a lot of money funneling in from different areas in college football right now. So you have your rev share, which I'm pretty sure the number is $20.5 million each year the schools get in revenue sharing. And then from there, it's up to the school how they want to split that up. Football gets 90% of it or somewhere in that ballpark. And then your men's and women's basketball teams split a percentage, and then the rest of the sports get the rest. And then also from there, you can decide how you want to split it up. All the players can get the same. All the players can, your top tier guys get this amount. There's a lot of different ways that it's being handled right now, is my understanding of it. But then on top of that, there's also the NIL side of it where brands can come in and say, hey, we need to keep this guy here, so we're going to sign him to a $100,000 promotion thing to post about our car company and all this stuff. Like, there's a lot of different ways these guys are, and then the collective thing too. So it's just donors throwing money in. So I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that these kids are getting money, and I don't know the best way to fix it, honestly, because like you can put the cap on the rev sharing thing like they have, but that doesn't stop the money flowing in from other places. So A&M can still go out there with all their oil money and buy every 5-star that they want.
Well, you hear the new way that college football is getting money?
Mm-mm.
It came out like 2 days ago. Utah.
I did see the Utah thing.
Yeah. Signed a private equity deal for $500 million to create a Utah
It's for-profit,
athletic LLC or whatever to oversee all their athletics.
Yeah.
I know Tony and I are staunchly against private equity entering anything.
Yeah.
Let alone college football. But like, I mean, it's coming. It's just a matter of time for each team.
Yeah. And my understanding of it too is that like the athletic director is going to be essentially like the CEO or like the chairman of it. And then the donors are going to be involved in these meetings and stuff too. And I would love to be a fly in the wall to see what's going on with these meetings and like what they have to say. Because, if donors are given that much money, they want to have some say in what's going on and all that. And now they're actually going to have a chance to do it. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm not a fan of it personally. Like I just like ball. I don't like the business side of it and all the bullshit that comes with like throwing all this money into it. But yeah, times are changing. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Gone are the days, the good old days when the SEC just paid everyone under the table.
I know. Yeah, I know. I love some of those stories that we would hear from back in the day. I don't know if I can share any of those, but
have you heard Ed Orgeron has started sharing some of those stories?
No.
Oh man!
Oh my god! I bet he's got.
Yeah, he just did.
Yeah, and like in my position, I don't think that we were ever in the wrong for anything like that. But a lot of the guys that I worked with have been in a million different places, so the stories get passed along, and it's it's wild.
Fred Taylor, did you hear about that one from back in the day? When he went to Florida, they just left a duffel bag of like, what was it, Justin? Like $500,000 or something like that in a duffel bag, and they just left it on the ground in front of him and walked away.
Feels like some mafia stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously, we can't forget Tennessee and those McDonald's bags.
I was just trying to think what school it was that had the McDonald's bags. Yeah, wild.
It was creative back then. Now they're just like, hey, here's a check.
Yeah. Now it's like, hey, we have the CEO of Crumble Cookie.
So wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, the CEO of Crumble Cookie stopping Penn State from hiring a coach.
Yeah, for real.
That was a beautiful storyline of last week. And now this week we've got
So wild.
we got trouble for old Toadie's boys up there now.
You're a Michigan fan? Oh, why? Gross. I grew up as a Buckeye fan, and then worked at Michigan State, so I've got every reason in the world to hate Michigan.
What's funny is I'm a Notre Dame fan, and like between the two, I actually hate Ohio State more than Michigan.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that hate Ohio State, but not me.
Yeah, we didn't need to give you any more ammo earlier today.
Yeah, this whole thing's been wild. Just like right before I hopped on here, I saw the notifications that like he's in custody now, and crazy.
Coronas?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
That escalated.
Yeah,
quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
What in the world?
I know. This is
What happened?
I don't know.
Man,
We'll have to.
man.
We're not in the business of breaking news. That's not our thing. So,
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's been on there. We missed it because we were show prepping and stuff. But man, that is insane.
Yeah.
I
don't know anything.
like
Saw the notification right before I hopped on. It's like, huh, this is getting dicey.
it escalated so badly. Obviously, earlier in the show we mentioned like all the coaches you worked with and stuff. How does each coach kind of have a different process for signing day? Do some of them act differently than others?
It's changed a little bit over the years. The coaching staff used to be a little more hands-on on signing day. As the times have changed a little bit, it's more of just the recruiting staff and creative staff working together to make sure that the announcements come out properly. And we used to do like at Colorado in 2019, we did a big live show, I think we streamed it on like YouTube or something. And we got like a big signing day board. And as the kids, letters would come in, we had like nameplates that they would go up. Coach would put it on the board. And then he would get up at the podium and talk about the kid. And we'd play the highlight tapes. And it was a big production. We'd have donors there and all that stuff. And the signing day events have just kind of, died off with time. And I would say the coaches, like the head coaches themselves, haven't been like, super in the weeds on signing day, like at least from my side of it. They might be making the phone calls for the last second kids and whatnot. But we haven't seen like, crazy stuff like that in a while. So yeah, coaches are, their jobs are almost done at that point when it gets to signing day. All the work is done way before that when you're, scouting these kids and doing the visits and making the connections and all that stuff. Like that's when all of their work is really the hardest.
Interesting. Yeah. I didn't really know like what their involvement was. So it was kind of interesting to learn about. Do you think also like signing day just kind of becomes like a little bit less of an event now because of the transfer portal and like, are these guys going to transfer out of the year and all that?
Yeah. Especially with the addition of the portal and now there's like the early signing period, there's the portal window, the late signing period in February. So like it gets a little muddy if it's like National Signing Day stuff because the early signing period is in December, but then there's like all these other opportunities for guys to sign. So yeah, like it's a little like died down from what it used to be. Because back before the portal, you'd sign a class of like, 25 to 30 kids, depending on how many spots you had. And in theory, you were going to have all these players for the next 4 or 5 years at your school. And that's who the fans are going to get to know. now you're lucky if you keep a kid for a couple of years. It's kind of, the signing day stuff is kind of lost its magic a little bit, because this is like the first time you get introduced to like a whole new class of kids. Now it's like, here's a third of the new class, and then you're going to get 20 more out of the portal that you guys don't know yet.
So on like the obviously signing day is like the end all be all, like the final signing day.
Mhm.
But like the commits that commit like way before that, because we've seen this happen. I Notre Dame, I've seen it happen like 1,000 times the past couple years, where a high level recruit, 5-star running back comes in, commits, and then like 6 days later is like, you know what, I'm gonna go to like Alabama or whatever. So like, do you take anything like when you see some of these guys commit? Are you like, let me get on that graphic, or are you like, let me just kind of wait?
No, when they commit, we're usually in the know like pretty quick with that stuff, especially kids that are like on campus and come to their photo shoot and whatnot. This is one of my big pet peeves in college football, is that all of these kids love the Hayes Fawcett graphics, and we get requests to make a committed graphic that's like CU branded in our style and all that. And we send it to the kid, and then the kid posts the Hayes Fawcett graphic. And it's like, why the hell, like, why am I wasting my time on this graphic if you're just going to post a shitty one that Hayes made? It drives me nuts. I've wasted so many hours of my life. And I understand like the request from the recruiting department, because like, you don't want a kid to commit and then be like, cool, we'll look out for the announcement. Like, you still have to play the game, and you have to give the kid a graphic and all that stuff. So I don't blame my recruiting department for it at all. It's not their fault. It's just these kids all want the Hayes Fawcett graphic because that's like the trendy thing, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, you
it is
times, dude.
What's that?
It is nuts.
Yeah.
Man, like, he really has like jumped into that recruiting space and really been like a huge part of it. Like, he always seems to break the news on where people are going and everything. Like, um, it's pretty wild. Like, how one guy just, I don't know a lot of his background, but like, that's kind of crazy. The one guy kind of just like jumped in and managed to do all this.
Yeah, it started in like probably 2019 or 2020, somewhere in there, when he was making his graphics. And that's when I got the most frustrated about it, because I was like, who the hell is this guy? Like, why are they posting this graphic? It sucks. But now it's just like the trendy thing, and that's like the style, and it's what the kids want. So,
Not at the risk of accidentally starting like social media beef, would you consider Hayes your arch rival now?
nah, maybe a couple years ago I would have said yes, but he's got his own thing going, so good for him. I've never met the guy. I'm sure he's great, but yeah, it's just frustrating when I've wasted so much time of like my own time and resources to see them post his thing. I'm like, you don't even know the guy. You're about to come spend the next couple of years with me at this school, and
Yeah, I understand that all too well, because I'll put out like a tweet that I'm like, oh, I put like a lot of thought into this tweet, and then I scroll back like 5 minutes, and Justin put like basically the same thing, just a little different.
So would you
Like,
say you
damn it,
guys are arch
Justin.
rivals?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys have always been arch rivals though, since NCAA 14.
So we're not allowed to play against each other anymore. Well, that's the new rule.
I'm also a victim of Justin, but this was on college football 20. Was it 25?
Yeah, 25.
Hit him with the story tones. You can't just hold back now.
Yeah.
Just absolutely victimized. He's running like some 1832, Oregon Trail offense
Your
that
players are
nobody's
dying
seen
of
or heard about.
dysentery.
Yeah, and you're like, what, dude? Oh man, drive you crazy. That boy will drive you crazy.
I don't know how J-Man gets all of his information, but I swear to God, I find out things that are happening like in my building at work from him before I hear it from anybody else at work. I'm like, where do you get this stuff? It's unbelievable how fast you.
He sleeps with a USB plugged into his computer.
Yeah.
It just downloads.
Yeah, he's like one of those fembots from Austin Powers. Like the Brennan Marion hire. our new offensive coordinator. I found out from Justin before I found out from anybody else. It's like, how?
To be fair, you did tip us off on it a little bit.
yeah, but still, you found out the official news before I did, which is wild.
Yeah, Justin's pretty quick with that. We call him fast hands, Justin.
Yeah, kind of in the same category. So when Coach Prime was getting hired, we got a tip maybe a week in advance that we should have some stuff prepared for Coach Prime, that it's like, it's actually got some legs to it. It might actually happen. My office was kind of in the corner where everybody has to walk by, and I had a window that faced in the office next to the door. I was sitting in there with the door closed, making my Coach Prime graphics, trying to be as discreet as possible. But, we had an interim, and all the coaches are, worried and want to know who's going to get hired and all that. Somebody saw through my window that I was making Coach Prime graphics, and there was a report that staffers have been seen prepping marketing materials for Coach Prime's hire at Colorado. And I was like, yo, who's leaking this stuff? Because I didn't say anything, and I'm the one making the graphics. And I was like, that's the only thing I think of, is that somebody saw through my window that I was making the stuff. And
they have a grainy picture of you, dude.
Yeah.
With in the background, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, I turn around, there's a guy with a Motorola Razor taking a picture, and it's like the Bigfoot photo.
Yeah. But somehow more grainy.
Yeah.
It's just his long hair. You could see a little bit of the mustache.
Yeah. I turn around, there's a guy waving a Polaroid photo, waiting for it to dry.
Got it right here. Coach Prime is coming to Colorado, guys.
Yeah, that was still one of the more wild nights of my entire life, but because we got the call that it was finalized and all that, and we need to be on the tarmac at it was 1:30 in the morning when he arrived, and we get there, and we're trying to get there in a hurry and all that, and we had 2 cars of people, and I can't remember who was driving, but somebody went through a yellow light, and the car behind us is like, well, shit, we don't know how to get because the airport, when you're driving out there, you have to have clearance, for lack of better words, to drive out there. So the other car was like, well, shit, we need to stick with them. So they just blow through the red light to keep up with us to get into the hangar, all that stuff.
Can you imagine telling the cop that, being like, hey, I'm gonna go meet Deion Sanders?
Yeah. Luckily I was
yeah. You'd be like, all right, please step out of the vehicle and go,
Yeah, it's a Colorado State fan.
Put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, dodge the whole thing. Yeah.
Man, that had to be such a whirlwind. Just okay, he's coming in now. This is going to be the start of the Coach Prime era. Obviously, you were there in 2022, where it was pretty much the exact opposite of what it is now, buzz-wise. I mean, yeah, what was all of that like?
That was the only hire they could have made that actually made me a little scared for my job, because we're kind of tied with our side's a little bit different than a coaching hire, but we're tied to the head coach. Mel Tucker hired me at Colorado, brought me to Michigan State. When a new coach comes in, you're not entirely guaranteed to keep your job when they come in. At Alabama, when DeBoer got hired, they got rid of everyone. So you're not entirely safe. Bucky Deion Jr. does all of Coach Prime's media and whatnot. When he came in, I was like, there's a real possibility that they just hire him in our place, and we're out on the streets. But we met with them that first night. We were with them. We did a facility tour that night, and we were there until 4 in the morning. And then at 7 in the morning the next day, we had a meeting with him and Deion Jr. and all that, and just kind of got to introduce each other or meet each other and all that stuff. And then it's yeah, we're going to work hand in hand. You're going to do Coach Prime stuff. We're going to do the university stuff. And there was a little bit of not tug of war, but they wanted to post on the Colorado main accounts, but the way that they run their social media strategy is a little different than ours, and just didn't align. And there's some copyright stuff that they don't have to deal with typically, but when it's a university page, we have to deal with it. So there was just a learning curve, I would say, when he got there. So yeah, it's just, you know, working through the kinks, because the stuff that we do is pretty non-traditional than most programs, having cameras around for every meeting and every practice and every workout and all that stuff. Like, other schools don't do the behind the scenes like we do. So there was just a lot of stuff we all had to learn together, because we weren't used to working that way either. We were, you know, showing the games and, you know, practice highlight here and there, not the meetings where guys are getting bad news and all that kind of stuff. So it was definitely a learning curve, but then also at the same point, it's like, there was like some frustrating stuff, but I wouldn't say it was frustrating overall. It's just like some things you had to learn. But then it's like, you've got all this hype too, and all this like pressure. It's like, everyone in the world wants to see what you're doing right now, and everything you do is going to go viral. So it's just a crazy flip of the switch from what we had going to the current situation we're in now.
Yeah, it's been a pretty incredible roller coaster to follow along with, for sure.
Yeah. Like, never in my life did I think I'd be hanging out with like Warren Sapp was my idol when I was a little kid. I wore number 99 because of him. And now I sit with him on the bus everywhere we go. I've got a signed jersey from him sitting in the corner over here. Like, it's crazy that this is the world that we're in.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I feel like every time I talk to Justin, he's always like, hey, this ex-NFL player is coming through the building. And I'm like, damn, I like that guy.
I know, like when I was a little kid, I was huge into autographs and all that. And it's like, oh my God, like if I was like still in that mindset now as a 32-year-old, like, this would be insane. This is like the holy grail. But I try to keep a level of professionalism around these guys. I don't want to be like,
you don't full fangirl.
I try not to. I had a hard time when The Rock was here. That was one where I was like, holy shit, that's The Rock. And like, he got up on we have a stage in the locker room that Coach Prime stands on to give his speech, and he had The Rock stand up there with him, and I'm standing there taking pictures, and I'm like, if The Rock farted right now, I would get pink eye. That's how close I am to this guy. Like, it's just,
how much were you rooting for him to just give you the people's elbow?
I can't say that I wanted it to happen, but it'd be a hell of a story. Like, like Goldberg, his son is on the team, and like, I get to hang out, or I wouldn't say hang out, but I get to talk to Goldberg like every game now, which is insane. Like, a childhood idol of mine as a wrestling fan. It's like, just normal guy that I get to hang out with.
Yeah, you remember those like wrestling things that were like, I don't know, that big, that like you got to like wrestle with, and then if you hit them a certain way, they would like make their signature sounds.
Yes, yeah.
I had one of those at Goldberg, and that's what I think of every time. And I'm like, you're not Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, I was at a thrift store a couple months ago, and I found they had a bunch of like wrestling action figures, and I was like, I wonder if they have Goldberg. And then it was just staring me in the face. It's like, oh my God, they have it. So,
shut up and take my money.
Yeah, so I bought it, and the guy at the register, he's like, oh yeah, did you know that his son is playing football at the university here? I was like, I actually think I did hear that.
Next time you know that you're gonna see him, you should put that in like a radio flyer wagon and wheel it behind you.
Yeah.
Mr. Berg, can you sign this
Yeah.
for me?
Yeah, his son is one of my favorites on the team too. I talk to him more than most guys. So as soon as I bought it, I was like, dude, guess what I found the other day? I should have his dad sign it next time I see him.
Have the whole family sign it?
Yeah. That guy's got the strongest handshake of anybody I've ever met.
That's when you know you got a good person in front of you.
Yeah.
By the grip of their handshake.
Yeah. Yeah. A wrestling Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Derek, this is your platform. Is there anything that you want to promote while you're on here? Anything you guys got coming up?
It's the portal's about to go crazy. So
keep an eye on the Colorado account.
Yeah, it's I think it opens up January 2nd. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a bunch of 5-stars coming in. If any of you 5-stars are watching right now, come play for us. Come get another Heisman.
If a 5-star recruit was watching this show, that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're not that big yet.
Well,
We'll still put out. We'll make that a short. We'll put it out. Justin, get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be like
yeah, we'll make sure.
yeah, right now it's like the walk-ons that, get put on scholarship and then win the Burlsworth award and all that. No, I mean, I'm not a big self-promoter. I barely use social media on my own, so I just do it because I like making the stuff, get a lot of cool stories out of it. My friends get to come out and see it, family and all that. So it's just wild that this is a world that we live in and get to be part of it.
On a personal note, are the Tigers winning the World Series next year?
God, I freaking hope so. If we can keep Scooble, that's gonna be huge. I don't know. I sure hope so. We need it.
Yeah, I mean, they're like right there. They're like a couple pieces away from being able to compete.
I know.
And if the Dodgers just didn't buy everybody, then I feel like it would be a little bit more fun to watch.
Yeah, who they just go out and get? Diaz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Tommy Trumpet or whatever his name is going to end up in LA and just
For real. Yeah, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the whole like NIL thing and teams just going out and buying the best roster. Like it's not much different than the baseball model right now, but
at least with baseball, like in the Cardinals, I know this is not the direction that anybody saw this show going, but the Cardinals, like they were like the last team to squeak in, and then they ended up winning the World Series 2 times in a row on that strategy. The Red Sox won a couple times on that strategy as well, so it can be done.
Yeah. I mean,
Impossible is nothing.
Tigers got in last year, or I guess 2 years ago now, and then knocked out Houston, and then lost to the Guardians in that Game 7 Grand Slam. But yeah, not ruling it out. Love to see another championship in Detroit. Detroit's got 1 championship since I've been alive, and it was 04 Pistons.
Hey, I mean, that beat Cincinnati by a mile.
Yeah.
We barely made the playoffs in anything since I was born, so.
That's true. Well, you guys only have, what, two pro sports?
3.
Oh, you got soccer. Yeah.
Yeah. We lose to Messi every year. It's becoming a thing.
I don't know anything about soccer. I quit watching that when I was 6.
Yeah. Well, Derek, we appreciate you, dude. This has been like by far our most favorite show in the 5 years we've been doing this. So
hell yeah.
we really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Let's make this a more regular thing. I love doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody at home, root for Colorado football. And follow us at Updog Sports Talk on everything. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. We do have the podcast portion. I'm a little behind on that. Apologies. But we'll see you guys next time.
Toodles.